Joining today. My name is Adam Novick. I am the Director of Client Solutions here at Patexia. I appreciate everyone carving out time to join us for today. Those of you who are going to be streaming this in the days and weeks to come, you've already figured out that we're going to make this webinar available for you on the website and on the YouTube page, and we'll go ahead and link to it on the social media as well. Today, I'm going to be providing an overview of the 2019 Patent Prosecution Report. This is our first annual patent prosecution report, but with the continued support of the community, we certainly expect it to be an annual release for many years to come. Spent the past few weeks reaching out to many of the companies and law firms in the community, and the feedback has been pretty incredible. We've identified a number of additional topics and areas of interest that I'm going to get into a little bit later in the webinar, but rest assured, we are continually looking for ways that we can add value to the IP community. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and give a brief overview of Patexia, and then I'm going to dive into the contents of the 2019 Patent Prosecution Report. I would encourage anyone that has questions to go ahead and email me. You'll see my contact information at the bottom of the slide. Feel free to shoot me an email or give me a ring with any questions that you might have. So I'll start with a quick overview of who we are and what we do. Patexia was founded by Pedram Semeni back in 2010. Pedram and the company are based out of sunny Santa Monica, California. I am based on the snowy East Coast here in New Jersey. Our mission since 2010 has been to leverage technology, collaboration, and information to increase transparency and efficiency to the IP community. We have four main divisions. We have our prior art search, where we leverage the power of our network, offering crowdsourced or private prior art contests. We do recruiting to assist our law firm and our corporate clients attract top talent. We have our research arm, which is IP Insights and our patent analytics, which are available on the website. And certainly this report is another example of our efforts in that arena. And finally, our Expert Connect services, where we work to leverage our network again and provide technical and testifying experts to our law firm and corporate clients. That brings us to today. The 2019 Patent Prosecution Report is going to be released tomorrow, March 6th. It is currently available for pre-order on the website for $11.95. I would point out that once it is released, the price is going to increase to $14.95. So I would certainly encourage those of you who are interested to go ahead and pre-order at the discounted rate before we release the report. This year's report contains analysis of the last 5 full years of patent prosecution. So that's full year 2014 through 2018. Our analysis looked at, among other things, over 2 million applications, 1.6 million patents, and over 25 million individual claims. We also looked at data for over 100,000 companies, over 5,000 law firms, and because that wasn't enough, we threw in another 10,000 examiners as well. So the data science team has certainly had their hands full. We're going to talk for a minute about how we collect and analyze the data. The sources of the data are based off U.S. patents, U.S. examiner data, and then self-reporting by our firms, which, again, our team then goes ahead and manually validates. We use a combination of natural language processing, machine learning, and human review to go ahead and scrub and normalize the data. While we can't guarantee 100% accuracy, we're certainly striving to make the data as accurate as possible with our efforts on the back end, and we're always improving that process. Once we have the data, we then review it and analyze it to identify the trends, correlations, and metrics that ultimately end up in the report. And the culmination is the 2019 Patent Prosecution Report. Most people agree that you're only as good as the data that you're working with. It's certainly a tremendous undertaking to get the data into a usable format where it's normalized, and that enables us to work with it to generate rankings like this or to extrapolate trends or correlations. Our team of data scientists and analysts spends literally thousands of hours continuously working on improving the data accuracy, and that's an ongoing process. This slide gives you a sense of how dramatically some of that data can change over the course of the process. For example, the illustration on the lower right hand of the slide is an example of a law firm that's gone through several different iterations of name changes as various partners have come and joined and then later left the firm. That becomes part of the task that is normalizing the data to make sure that everything is associated with the appropriate law firm. On this slide, you're going to take a look at the different sections that we have contained in this year's 2019 Patent Prosecution Report. Section 1, methodology. We're going to essentially explain our thought process with respect to measuring specific metrics related to performance, activity, success, efficiency, and quality for all of the various stakeholders that are involved in the prosecution process. Section 2, patent statistics. We're really looking at kind of a high-level overview of patent prosecution, incorporating some USPTO stats. Our tech centers, our art units, and our examiners are found in Section 3. Pretty self-explanatory there, but we are looking for key signals with respect to their activity, efficiency, and allowance. Section 4, the corporate section, we're identifying the most active companies in basically high-tech, biotech, and overall. And we're looking at their success, their quality, and their performance of patent prosecution. We're looking at law firms in Section 5, where we're looking at the performance and activity of the law firms. Again, high-tech, biotech, and overall categories. And some of you may be wondering why the examiners, the companies, and the law firms are highlighted in yellow, and rightfully so. And the reason for that is because essentially this report is also going to contain 3 appendices in the form of Excel spreadsheets. Now, these spreadsheets will be containing 5 years of underlying data for the examiners, the companies, and the law firms. These next 3 slides outline the specific metrics that we're going to be including in these spreadsheets. I'll say this has been hands down one of the biggest differentiators that most of the firms and the corporate clients I've spoken with have told me that captured their attention. I know there are certainly some rankings out there, but no one really including all of the underlying data along with that. So we certainly hope that this is a differentiator. And again, to fully clarify, the report is not only going to include the rankings, but it will also include all of these data points in an Excel spreadsheet for you to leverage internally. So this particular slide is showing the metrics that we looked at for the technology centers, the art units, and the examiners, to give you an idea. This next slide is showing the extensive listing of data points that we're including for the companies. Some key metrics include allowance rates and application and claim level, pendency, office actions, extensions, interviews, and then some word count ratios. This next slide shows the data points that we're including for the law firms. Again, some key metrics are going to include the number of applications and issued patents, claims allowed, allowance rates, pendency, office actions, extensions, and interviews. And I want to further make a point here. You're not only going to get the data for your particular firm or company, you're going to receive the data for all of the other law firms or companies as well. So again, it's not just your firm. This is for you and all of the other firms in the spreadsheet. Next, we get to the actual rankings. For general patent stats, again, we looked at over 1.6 million unique patents, over 10,000 examiners, 9 tech centers, and all 663 art units. With respect to the companies and the law firms, again, we essentially looked at most active and the best performing, and then further broke it down into high tech, biotech, and overall to distinguish between those 2 sectors. In terms of how we're going about calculating the rankings, activity is fairly straightforward. We're compiling the list of the top 1,000 based on, again, the number of US issued patents from 2014 through 2018. With respect to the performance of the law firms, we're taking a weighted average of success, efficiency, and activity metrics that I showed you in that previous slide. And then with respect to the performance of the companies, we're taking a weighted average of success, quality, and activity metrics that I showed in the previous slide. And you'll notice the distinction between efficiency and quality between the law firms and the companies, the thought process being that the law firm could have more control over the efficiency of the overall process, while the company has a little bit more control and ownership of the actual quality of what they're trying to patent. So what if you're named to one of these categories? We would ask that if you intend to use the rankings in your marketing materials or on the website, that you go ahead and partner with us to purchase the report. We're not going to be mentioning specific rankings in press releases that we do unless the firm has in fact purchased the report. These awards are from Patexia as an independent third party and represent the top 1% to 2% in their respective categories. Any law firms who purchase and are ranked in the top 100 for either activity or performance in any of those categories that I mentioned will go ahead and receive one of the award badges that you see on this slide. These can be displayed on the firm website, LinkedIn, social media, marketing materials, wherever you see fit. This slide's going to give you an idea of how some of the different companies and law firms that I've spoken with over the past few weeks and months have kind of indicated to me that they're intending to use this report and the underlying data. Many of the partners at the law firms I've spoken with have repeatedly expressed that the prosecution side has become increasingly commoditized in recent years, and they're very interested in ways where they can proactively differentiate themselves in their practices. That starts with simply purchasing the report, putting the badge up on the website and social media and issuing some sort of press release. I've been put in contact with the heads of the business development and the marketing teams at a lot of the big law firms by some of the partners that lead the practice groups. They are always looking for customized stats, whether it's just for proactive marketing and business development or to include in RFI responses or corporate pitches, essentially looking to show how they can differentiate the practice against competing firms. And finally, certainly they're looking to leverage the examiner data that we're including as well. The corporate clients really looking to save time and leverage all of the data and analytics that we've compiled as part of the evaluation process when they're vetting new or existing outside counsel. I'm certainly aware that there is obviously a huge relationship component to that process. But many of the partners and a lot of the GCs I've spoken to have said, the savvier ones are certainly at least incorporating some advanced data and analytics into that evaluation process, and they can certainly use this data as part of that. Also using the examiner stats, and then finally on the acquisition or the fund side, really looking at it to evaluate patent portfolios. Also, we've had some litigation funders look at some of the data in terms of portfolio and law firm performance. So it's a variety of different considerations. Very excited for this slide because now is when I get to announce our newest offering, what we're calling our Patexia Concierge Service. For some of the firms I've been speaking with over the past few weeks, purchasing the prosecution report on its own has been sufficient. In the past, some of our firms have been very happy just to buy our IPR reports. That said, a lot more firms have recently started asking us to peel back the layers and deliver more customized analytics that they can leverage further. It may be in the context of prosecution, maybe in the context of litigation, examiners, business development. Essentially, with our concierge offering, we're including 5 hours of customized analytics work that our data science team will complete for you. And we're going to tailor it to whatever your specific needs or goals are. And that will also include all 4 of the reports that you see on this slide. So to clarify, the 5 hours of custom analytics work is included. You can stop at that or add additional hours on. You can be quoted or pre-purchased based on the needs of the firm. You essentially have the ability to contact us for a la carte custom analytics on specific projects. Or if this is something that you think you'll use on a more frequent basis, you would have the option to essentially pre-purchase hours at discounted rates. And that would give you increased cost certainty as well. So basically, you would get all 4 of the annual reports plus 5 hours of custom analytics work that you would tell us how you want it directed. Above and beyond that, we could shift to either an hourly or a pre-purchase subscription model. The point is, we want to give the firms the ability to leverage the custom data that they specifically need at that particular time. We have databases for litigation, prosecution, examiners, IPRs that we want the law firms to leverage, allowing the attorneys to focus on higher value work while leveraging all of our data depending on the current need. In this slide, I outlined a couple of analytics projects that we've been approached for in just the past few weeks. I've had a number of Fortune 500 customers ask us to analyze their outside counsel with respect to various performance metrics. I got a call from a partner who was going out to pitch a tech company and wanted competitive stats against the other 4 firms that he knew were also pitching that same corporate client. I've had numerous conversations with marketing and business development leaders at various firms who have asked for custom reports highlighting specific metrics where either the litigation group or the prosecution or the PTAB groups have been outperforming. And then I had a partner who received an RFI from a corporate client and asked us to provide some customized analytics that she could include in her RFI response. At the end of the day, if these types of analytics would be beneficial to the practice group, we want to give you the ability to leverage them whenever they're needed. If anyone has questions about the concierge offering, again, please contact me to discuss this directly. 4 reports for the year plus 5 hours of custom analytics work included. A reminder to all the attorneys, you can go ahead and claim your attorney profile for free on our website, which is www.patexia.com, to go ahead and ensure all the information is accurate. It may prompt you to enter your work email, but again, the site is free. It should only take a minute to claim the profile, and that's just our way of validating who's using the site to ensure the integrity of the data. Any of the business development or the marketing folks at the law firms who would like to work with me directly to make sure that they're maximizing the exposure of the network can certainly contact me directly. I would ask anyone that has questions, again, go ahead and email me, adam@patexia.com, or go ahead and give me a ring on my cell phone. All of my contact information is on the slides. In addition to the 2019 Patent Prosecution Report and the custom analytics that I spoke about, certainly keep us in mind if you do have any expert or prior art needs. We want to continue to leverage the power of the amazing network that Pedram and the folks here at Patexia have built over the past 9 years. So if there's any way we can do that for the firm, certainly feel free to reach out. And once again, I'd just like to thank everyone for taking the time to view the webinar today. If you see value in the report and the 5 years of underlying data that we're including, we'd love to hear from you and have your support. Feel free to email Pedram or myself with any questions or comments, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much.